Could the Lakers' center of the future be tariffed? Possibly, especially if that center is 7'1" clutch client HANSEN Yang out of China. So move aside Sun Yu, take a hike Jian Lian, because the Lakers may have just found their next big Chinese prospect to invest in. So in this video, let's take a look at talented big man HANSEN Yang, who has declared for the 2025 NBA draft and could be an option for the Lakers in the second round with their number 55th pick. In recent mock drafts, HANSEN has gone anywhere from the number 44th pick to the 53rd pick to the number 59th pick according to ESPN's latest mock draft. But things obviously change, especially as the draft combine moves along and private workouts happen with specific teams. For now, we're going to act like HANSEN Yang is definitely in the Lakers' range somewhere in the second round, whether they stay at their spot or pick up another second round pick and move down. In this video, I'm going to take a streamlined look through film of HANSEN's strengths and weaknesses, including clips from the NBA Combine in Chicago, as well as some of his play in Summer League last year, so we can get a better gauge of how he stacks up against quote-unquote NBA-ready talent. And by the end of this, you're either going to think HANSEN is one of the most unique and talented big man you've ever seen, or the worst, slowest big man you'd never want your team to draft. I'll let you decide. So like this video, comment down below, and hit subscribe, and let's dive into things. First, let's take a look at HANSEN's general player profile. HANSEN Yang is 19 years old. He'll be turning 20 this June. He is 7'1" barefoot in height, so about 7'2", 7'3" with shoes on. He's got a 7'3" wingspan and a 9'3" standing reach. He measured with the second largest hands at the combine and weighs 250 pounds. Last year in the CBA, he averaged 16.6 points, 10.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.6 blocks, on 58% from the field and 33% from 3, knocking down 16 of 48. He also shot 67% from the stripe. 2 years ago in the 2023 FIBA Under-19 tournament, he dominated Alex Sarr, took him down to the block, stole his money, and played big. During that tournament, HANSEN averaged 13 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks, earning all-tournament second-team honors. He's currently going through the 2025 NBA draft cycle and has had some pretty solid showings at the Combine, flashing some of his best attributes as well as a much slimmer, cutter frame that should help him with his conditioning and mobility. As I mentioned at the top, he signed with Clutch at the beginning of this year and is represented by Rich Paul. So cue up the natural speculation from there. Alright, now let's dive into his specific strengths. First and foremost, HANSEN Yang is an extremely unique and skilled offensive player. Given how massive he is and how lumbering he looks, he's actually very light on his feet and nimble on the offensive end. He plays at his own pace and is extremely crafty with his movements in the paint. In a lot of ways, he plays like the center version of Luka Doncic, deliberately slow and methodical, just so that he can lull his defenders to sleep and then hit them with a sudden quick move and surprise them with his agility and skill. He's a great post player due to his combination of sheer size, legitimate skill, and natural feel for the game. His footwork is impeccable, and he knows how to plant his pivot foot down and use it to its most lethal extent by combining head fakes, pass fakes, shoulder shimmies, multiple pivots, and then reverse pivots to eventually free himself up for the shot that he wants. His drop step in the post is one of his most lethal offensive tools because it comes so lightning quick relative to everything else he does. He loves leveraging his big frame against other defenders, forcing them to lean their whole weight against his body, only for him to hit them with a sick spin move on the baseline where his wingspan and length do the rest of the work from there. Oh yeah, did I mention that he loves to spin off his man in the post and rack baseline? Because yeah, he loves to spin off his man in the post and rack baseline. Spin, reverse spin, drop step, shoulder fake into spinning lean. No one loves a good spin class more than HANSEN Yang. He loves to dance around and fake defenders out of their shoes with some of the sickest combos you've ever seen. And then, the thing that makes everything come together for HANSEN offensively is his impeccable touch and finishing skills. And this is most apparent with his soft over-the-shoulder hook shots off of more traditional isolation post-ups, but most especially with floaters on the move, nifty flip shots, and even some awkward angled bank shots. He's got great dexterity, he's very fluid and flexible for a big man and can squeeze himself through weird spaces and make himself skinny to get up a shot that most big men wouldn't even think to take. He's got some of that Anton Jamison-esque quirky finishing ability at the basket that makes him a much more versatile finisher. And as you've probably already noticed in a lot of these clips, he's got pretty good handles for a big man. And he can put the ball on the floor and take it straight to the rim if he sees an open pathway. Especially when he's at the top of the key being used as a 5-out hub, if he sees an opening, he's not afraid to put the ball on the floor, barrel down the lane, and take off for a hammer jam. His face-up game in the post is also especially lethal because he can attack slower, lumbering bigs with his speed, handles, and flexibility. He can also even grab and go and initiate the offense in transition off of his own dribble in a pinch. And then if we just strip things down to its simplest form, against smaller defenders, HANSEN can just play big. He can back defenders down beneath the basket, then throw down a one-handed hammer in their face to remind them that he's a giant. And just naturally, because of his size and length, HANSEN's going to grab some easy offensive rebounds and be there for some opportunistic putbacks whenever necessary. Now, in terms of athleticism, I wouldn't necessarily call HANSEN explosive at all, but in open space, he can barrel down the lane sometimes and use the coordinated mobility and length that he does have to throw down some surprisingly hard-hitting jams. Off the ball in the pick and roll game, he's a very good roll man. Because of his size, he just naturally sets solid screens that tend to erase defenders and create space, and then from there, when he gets the ball on the short roll, you already know that he can do a variety of things with it. He's not a Derek Lively vertical lob threat type big, but he is a very opportunistic finisher who knows how to move east and west and navigate his way to the rim and finish in a variety of ways. So while you may not be getting that high-octane battering ram to the rim, you are getting a very efficient and versatile weapon who isn't as boxy and clunky as other typical traditional bigs. And hey, sometimes he'll still throw down a thunderous two-handed jam to remind people that he's still got the juice. Lastly, HANSEN Yang has also flashed the ability to space out from the three-point line. He's got a mechanically fluid-looking jump shot. As I mentioned, he did hit 16 of 48 from 3 in the CBA last season, 33%, and he's knocked down a couple of threes in the NBA Combine as well. And if you just watch the way he pops out to the three-point line and shoots that shot, nothing about it looks awkward and arduous. If anything, he's got a very comfortable and quick-looking release for a big man. And this goes for his three-point shot as well as his mid-range jump shot. And if he can continue to develop and harness this part of his game, he will become an even more dangerous and well-rounded offensive player than he already is. Alright folks, we are at the halfway mark of this video and we still have yet to cover HANSEN's passing, defense, and weaknesses. But if you've enjoyed what you've seen thus far, then please do me a favor and hit like, comment down below, and most importantly, hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And with that said, let's get back to more HANSEN Yang tape. Alright, so to round out HANSEN Yang's strengths, we can't end this section without talking about his passing and playmaking. Because this is where HANSEN truly shines and truly gets those Jokic Sengun comps. He's got some high-level and innate passing instincts and feel for the game as a big on the offensive end that truly make him so unique. At just 19 years old, he's already got such an advanced level of timing and spatial awareness around the court as a DHO 5-out hub who knows how to make the right reads and keep the ball moving. He's that true satellite big man who you can use at the top of the key because he just naturally towers over defenders and can see the court so well. And then from there, after he surveys the floor, he's able to deliver some very nice over-the-head, over-the-shoulder whip passes to cutting players. And the way that he delivers the ball to his teammates, it's quirky, it's creative, it's unexpected, and you can see him really causing havoc for defenses with how unpredictable he can be as a playmaker. You want a one-handed over-the-head zip pass? He's got it. You want a no-look pass on the move? Done. In the post, he can hit cutters with subtle drop-off bounce passes. He can read the defense well and swing the ball out to the perimeter with good velocity and accuracy. And just as he does with his own scoring, he smartly incorporates some well-timed fakes into his passing as well. You can tell that this kid just has impeccable feel that you simply can't teach, and that the floor is wide open with possibilities for him with the ball in his hands. Alright, so those are HANSEN YANG's biggest strengths. Now let's talk about his weaknesses. And as you've probably already guessed by now, it's his defense. To put it very simply, it's bad. His defense at this stage of his career is simply very lacking. And his tape in Summer League last July against NBA-adjacent type players was particularly damning. He's just so slow and surprisingly lumbering. His mobility just isn't there on that end of the floor. For someone who looks so coordinated and nimble on the offensive end, he looks strangely loafing and uncoordinated defensively. He constantly bites on pump fakes, gets frozen in place, and lets ball handlers simply waltz into the lane unimpeded. He looks very stiff a lot of the time, and his feet look like they're stuck in mud. And it doesn't look like he has any quick twitch instincts whatsoever to rotate and recover to downhill drivers consistently. And most importantly, I just worry about how he handles the speed and athleticism in the NBA. Because even against Summer League competition, he was constantly out of position and contesting shots very softly. And even when it comes to rebounding the ball, he doesn't really fight for position or fight for contested boards. If he gets a rebound, it's simply because he's tall. And the biggest problem for him overall right now is he just has a very low motor defensively. Currently, it's just not there. Now, some of that can be improved with him slimming down, getting stronger, and working on his conditioning, but at least from the tape that we've seen in the last year, it doesn't look too good. He's very Nikola Vucevic-esque on defense, the 34-year-old version of Nikola Vucevic, except he's 19. Now, I'll caveat and add some silver linings to his current derelict state defensively by saying he's very young and he still has time to grow into his body. And in comparison to the clips that I've just shown you, he already looks much better conditioned in the combine than he did even just a few months ago. And at the end of the day, he is still 7'3" in shoes with a 7'3"-ish wingspan. He's a hulk of a body in the paint who can just disrupt shots by simply being tall. And the times when he has been effective on defense, it's because he was able to slide to the right spots and show good timing on his blocks and strips. And so if he's ever able to be competent to good defensively, if he can continue to work on his body and conditioning and develop his defensive IQ and positioning, I could see some shades of Marc Gasol in him as a good positional defender who knows how to use good verticality. Because if he can ever translate all of that fluidity and IQ that he has on the offensive end to the defensive end, then yeah, HANSEN YANG could be a real problem. So there it is, HANSEN YANG. Bop or stop. Now obviously the Lakers have dabbled with some prospects coming out of China before by drafting a point forward like Sun Yue in 2008 with the 40th pick, the so-called Chinese Magic Johnson, and then they even signed former lotto pick Yi Jianlian back in 2016, only for Yi to ask out of his contract before the season even began. Now, those two prospects very obviously didn't work out for the Lakers, but with HANSEN YANG, could third time be the charm? As you've seen in this video, HANSEN is quite literally a yin and yang prospect with two very polarizing skills. Personally, while I am intrigued by his offensive versatility, his nimble feet, and his passing acumen, I think HANSEN's defense as it currently stands and his lack of mobility and motor on that end are so damning that I don't think he's the right fit for the Lakers. Now, if he continues to work on his body to get stronger and works on his defensive fundamentals and timing, if I squint hard enough, I could see some shades of Marc Gasol or even some Ivica Zubats in there in the future eventually. But right now, I think the speed and explosiveness in the NBA is just going to overwhelm him to the point where I don't think even his size and offensive contributions will be enough to warrant having him out on the court for even 15 minutes a game. But hey, if his three-point shot is real and he can actually sync up his impeccable offensive timing and translate that over to the defensive end, then yeah, I could see HANSEN YANG being a potential game changer at the center position. I'm just not sure that the Lakers, with how slow, plodding, and methodical they already are the right fit for him currently. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and please remember to like this video and hit subscribe. This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.